Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to one of my replays driving, in this instance, the dreaded Chinese Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the 112. Why do I say dreaded? Because, well, frankly, thus far I have not had a particularly good relationship with this tank. I really haven't liked it. More recently, I've started to, let's say, hate it less, but certainly my first 30 odd games in this thing were pretty painful. Anyway, the actual game in question. Tier 8 game. Here on El Haluf, that's the name of the map. And you'll notice that both teams have an awful lot of heavy tanks. And so this means there is potentially quite a lot of damage to go around. And what does damage mean? Damage means XP and credits, and this is of course a Tier 8 premium tank. You really play it for that credit earning potential. Now, at some point I will do a full review on this tank, once I've kind of actually gotten to grips with it. But what do you need to know about the tank? Well, basically you get a decent turret, frontal armour, the upper plate is good, the lower plate is terrible. Hello Mr. IS-6. Nah, I was never going to hit. And the gun is woeful. This is your standard Soviet/Chinese 122mm gun. However, this is a garbage version of it with terrible rate of fire and really, really bad bloom values, meaning that it takes forever to aim. This is one of the few tanks that I run an enhanced gun laying drive on, in addition to my gun rammer and vertical stabilizers. Anyway, I have taken up position just here on the basis that I can use the terrain here just a little bit, hello Mr. Super Pershing, to hide my lower plate, just show my turret and my upper plate, which are both pretty strong, and get shots on the bad guys. 6 degrees of gun depression on this tank, which is not fantastic, but gets the job done. Well, it's just about enough to not be absolutely horrendous, if that makes sense. Anyway, so far we have lost, hello Mr. VK, so far we have lost 2 Jagdpanzer 4s and a T-29. Maybe I should have taken that shot on the VK sooner, but it takes so long to aim and reload. And the enemy team have lost a Super Pershing. So we've lost 2 Tier 6s and a Tier 7 in exchange for their Tier 8. Oh, and they've lost a Tier 7 now, so that's not too bad. I decided to move up here to try and deal with this VK so that he's no longer being annoying on our flank. And I come across an M6 and I penetrate him with a snapshot and roll very high. I mean, this gun has 390 average damage and I rolled for 460. That's not quite a max roll, but it's getting close. So VK has his turret turned the other way for some reason. Another high damage roll, 420, takes off an awful lot of his health. And now we are actually flanking these guys. Tiger 2, 362 into his bum. And so we're making these guys fight on 2 flanks, which suits my purposes grand. I'm slightly worried about the OI because of the derp gun. Take a shot at the front of his turret and bounce because I only have 175mm of penetration. Now, turret roof of the Tiger 2, he actually puts a shot into me there, but turret roof of the Tiger 2 is 40mm thick, which means my 122mm gun can overmatch that armour. And so with a gun this calibre I can just aim at the turret roof of the Tiger 2 all day long and penetrate, but I aim long enough there that he's able to put a shot into me as well. Try it again, and I managed to get a 425 damage roll into him for no damage in return. KV2 moves forward but misses the derping shot on the T-26, and now there's the VK, another high damage roll to leave him on 121 health. So far we've actually done a rather respectable amount of damage. And rinse and repeat. Don't quite have the gun depression to shoot the Tiger 2 there, but our Super Pershing does put a shot in. And can we finish off this Tiger? Struggling a little bit with the gun depression again, taking advantage of that turret roof overmatch to secure my second kill. VK here looks like he's going to be the next victim, as he is only on 121 health. But if you look at the minimap, you will notice that the enemy have pushed through to our base, and that is not good. Slightly worried about the KV-2 here, because of course he can dirt me in the face and take off an awful lot of my health, and I don't appear to quite have the gun depression to challenge him at the moment, which is a little sad. However, KV-2 goes off, misses his shot, and now I can just move forward and take off a large chunk of his health. Can the Super Pershing pick up the kill? No, he bounces. And my reload is long enough that, well, I'm not quite sure if I've got the reload on this KV-2, though I reckon I should do. And there we go. There is kill number 3. Now, if you were paying attention to the minimap, you may well have noticed a bunch of bad guys basically moving through our capture circle, or moving in the vicinity of our capture circle. Ooh, which is a little bit dicey. Hello, rear of a Black Prince. There we go, 413 damage roll. And now we're just going to feast on this Black Prince, although I don't manage to get another shot in before he dies. So far we've managed to take one shot ourselves, dealt out a lot of damage in return, and picked up 3 kills, which is quite a nice result. Just pay attention, this KV-3 and the Black Prince, I'll mention them in the post-battle results. Massive kudos to both of those guys. While I was attacking the enemy force from the rear, those guys basically held off a whole shed ton of tanks of a variety of tiers, and between us we were able to tag team the enemy down, but massive kudos to them. IS now bounces on me, I put a shell into him, we're basically using the same gun here, and there's also a Black Prince on this corner trying to use this rock to cover up my weak lower plate. IS pokes out again, I take another chunk of his health off, and the M6 is trying to indicate behind me because that Centurion is threatening our rear, but spoiler alert, as it turns out, it's not only the Centurion we have to worry about. Right, IS, I don't have a good shot on him. I take a shell there, but I managed to secure the kill on the IS, and that's an AMX 5100. So, I'm trying to turn so that I angle my rear armour toward that guy. Why am I doing that? Because I didn't want to turn to give him a flush shot into my side, but as it was, 100mm autoloader into our rear, and we're dead. So, this leaves our Super Pershing, Black Prince, and KV-3, and to give credit where credit's due, all of these guys throughout the game have been getting stuck into the enemy. Alas, our Super Pershing goes down. You can see there I get a little bit frustrated in chat, but that's not really fair to these guys. You know, these guys do a really solid job. Black Prince takes down the AMX. And now we can see our KV-3 taking on the enemy Black Prince. And while we're looking at this, the Black Prince takes out the Centurion Mark 1. Now this guy might be tracked. He bounced that shot. It looks like he's trying to aim for the commander's hatches on the Black Prince. I tell him in chat to aim for the hull of the Black Prince, and the hull armour, there we go, that's the ticket. The hull armour of the Black Prince is 152mm thick. Black Prince actually finishes him off, and so without angling, the 175 average penetration on the 122mm gun of the KV-3 should be able to punch right through. There we go. That was the game. So I did die partway through, but I wanted to follow the game to the end anyway, as you got to see both the Black Prince and the KV-3 do their thing. So let's go and have a look at the results, and you'll see what I mean about that KV-3 and the Black Prince drivers. So there we go, that game ended up being enough for Ace Tanker, Fighter, Sharpshooter, Master Gunner, Duelist, Fire for Effect, and High Caliber. And as you can see from that score screen, we also made quite a nice amount of money. 4,819 damage done, 4 kills, 1,380 base experience, and this is what you can see. This is what I meant about the KV-3 and the Black Prince drivers. KV-3, 3,430 damage, 2 kills, and 1,355 base experience. Black Prince, 2,062 damage, 5 kills, and 1,258 XP. Basically, the three of us carried that game. And that was probably, it was certainly an ace tanker for me, and having played both the Black Prince and the KV-3, I'm almost certain those games would have been ace tankers for those two guys as well. Remembering, of course, this was a tier 8 game, and that's a couple of tier 7 heavy tanks stepping up to the mark and really prodding a prodigious amount of buttock. So, massive well done to both Peacemaker in the KV3 and Creator in his Black Prince. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Absolutely stonking result. Anyway, keeping with mine, 15 shots fired, 15 hits, 14 pens. We were using the gun at relatively close range. For that, 4.8k damage. We received 9 hits, of which 5 penetrated, 4 did not, and there were 2 splashes in there as well, probably from the OI or the KV2, and we blocked 1,000 damage with our armour. Spotted 1 enemy tank, damaged 7, killed 4, and travelled just under 2 kilometres. As we were running a premium account at the time, we made a 113,000 credit profit after our repair and ammunition resupply costs, and even with a standard account that would have been a 68,000 credit profit. There you can really see the enhanced credit multiplier you get for driving your tier 8 premium machines. There was also a very healthy amount of experience there, as we were running a premium account at the time, and it was a ×3 experience event on, so we ended up with 6,500 XP from it too, to help train up my 110 crew, who are the guys sitting in the 112. So there we go. That was an unexpected result for me. I really had been struggling with the tank at the time, and it was nice to pick up an ace tanker in it and to finally have a good game. I've had a couple of reasonable games since. As I say, I'm slowly and gradually hating this tank less. I wouldn't say I like it yet, but I hate it less. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.